Hi, I hope you're all doing well. This is lesson 8 of the video series, and I wanted to let you know that I put the link out in the week 3 folder for the top 101 screenplays. If you're interested, from Writers Guild of America, you can go out there and take a look at that. I really wanted to deal with the book today. This is the chapter dealing with what he calls the board. We want to talk a little bit about the board today. So the board is a concept that screenwriters use, and a lot of them still use. There are software packages that do this. When I write, I use Final Draft for my script writing, and it's got this built in. And you should read about the board because it really is a good way to try to organize your thoughts. So I haven't really been giving you any writing prompts or writing exercises because to me, the writing that you need to be doing is on your screenplay. You need to be getting on it. And so I think that this is a good time to talk about maybe some organizational tips that you can use. So the beat sheet's great, but another way of organizing things and getting pretty specific is the board, all right? And the board is essentially a bulletin board, something you can slap note cards on. Now these are 4x6, but you can use 3x5. Again, this is if you want to do it or not, or if you want to try it down the road when you write something else, that's fine. This is just something for you to consider. So the idea behind the note card is you take a note card and you write an event, a situation, a set of circumstances that's supposed to take place in your story, whether it's a play or a screenplay, whatever it is that you're working on. I think we have a student that's working on a video game story, animation, it's all the same. So you write down on here something that should take place. Bill gets kicked out of the house. And you write that down. And he's got little tricks on there about plus minus values. Does this energize in a positive way emotionally or negative energy from this moment that's supposed to take place? And what you do is you write all of these events down that you want to take place in your story, these specific moments, and you write them all down. You just go crazy with them. Writing it all out, getting it all down on your note cards. And you may have a stack. Some screenwriters color code them. All right, they go and buy a packet of 3x5s or 4x6 that have the different colors, the yellow, the pink, the green. I've done that before in class. You can do that too if you think that will help you. So you write all this down, and then the next thing that you do, and if you don't have a board, you can use your desk or the floor, is you take each of these cards and you put them into the 3 acts. Where does the card go where Bill gets kicked out? Is that the inciting incident? Is that what kicks off the story? Then that's in your act 1. You put that in that pile. Maybe you've decided it's in your act 2, wherever it is. And put them in rows. Put them all out in rows in front of you and take a look at them. That's why he recommends the board, because you can stand in front of the board and take a look at all this stuff and organize accordingly. All right. So you write it down on the card, you get it organized, you tack it on the bulletin board, you stick it in front of you. Then you put them in order in each act. Okay, Bill's supposed to get kicked out in act 1. But Bill's also supposed to get arrested. Where does that go? Is that before he's kicked out? Is that after? Organize your cards that way. You do enough of these cards and you get this really nice set of ideas in rows in order of where they fit in the script. It is an organizational management kind of an exercise. Now, again, I'm not requiring you to do this. We're not meeting together in class. If we met together in class and had the time, we would absolutely do it. But I think it's something for you to consider, because I know that whatever level you are in writing, it can be kind of difficult coming up with ways to put your story pieces together, because it really is. It's one big, enormous jigsaw puzzle that you're trying to piece together. You're trying to make this scene fit with this scene, and this scene influence this next scene. So he talks about putting on there your plus and minus values. That deals with emotion. What is taking place emotionally? What is happening in that emotional beat, as he calls it? All right. So is it increasing the conflict? Is it making the conflict increase? Is it decreasing the conflict? And who wins in this moment? Maybe Bill's wife wins because she kicks him out at that moment. Maybe Bill isn't winning. Maybe Bill is a loser right now, okay? It's really just for you to think about coming up with your killer idea. I got this great idea for a story. It's brilliant. I think it's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. Can you organize it? The beat sheet is a really nice outline. The note cards get into the nitty gritty. It gets very specific with what is going on, okay? He puts in this chapter, and I highlighted it. I'm kind of going through to see where I highlighted it. He said the worst thing that can happen in screenwriting or any kind of script writing is you don't finish. You don't finish. And that's what I'm here to try to encourage you to do, is that you're going to finish. You're going to get this script done in the month that you have available. 50 pages, I know, may seem daunting. In a month, it really isn't. It isn't, okay? So your cards, conflict, conflict, conflict. What are you trying to do specifically from moment to moment to Bill or Gene or George or whoever your protagonist is to mess up their lives? I have really hit this, and I told you I was going to sound like a broken record. Conflict, conflict, conflict. You have to pile it on. And you can't do it by telling us. You have to show us. All right? You have to show us. So think about those things. Think about the primal urges, the primal needs that we have as human beings. How can you turn that into a conflict? Well, a need for a roof is really a good one because Bill gets kicked out. He has nowhere to go. That's a great one to use, okay? Several different things that we can do that can cause trouble and difficulty, all right? So the answer is we're trying to pile conflict on. Again, who is this person against? Person against person, person against nature, person against society, person against technology, whatever it is. How are you trying to make that even more emotionally charged? All right. How are you trying to pile that on? That's why it's a good idea sometimes to put them on cards, because then you can put them in order. Because if you're wanting to increase the conflict, then your order of events is very important. All right. You don't start with something that's really, really huge, and each conflict after that is less and less and less. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way. All right. So start off with something simple for the conflict, and then it gets even more difficult. And you pile it on, and it gets even more difficult for your protagonist. I'm scanning through the pages right here, okay, to see if there's anything else that I highlighted. But the note card, index card trick can be very good. Or if you can use, Word or Excel or something to take these notes and put them all out in front of you, okay? Or maybe you're using a software package that maybe even has a note area index card. Like I said, Final Draft has has it in there. So I can use the note cards and rearrange them any way that I want, just kind of follow along with that as I am following the overall structure of that beat sheet for the story, okay? So it's really important for you to dig into the structure, all right? Dig in, follow that structure. You should have seen things by now. You should have watched a movie, a film, a play, whatever, and seen this thing in action, okay? I've been watching movies lately, and no matter the time period, I watched an old one yesterday that was made in the 40s. Really good movie called Deadline at Dawn. Really good. Follow the structure. I mean, exactly what he put in Save the Cat. It's just great, okay? So think about that. Think about your structure, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. Remember, every act of your screenplay is important. Act 3 is so vital that I mentioned the other day. Some of you may be getting close to Act 3. That's a very critical moment in your screenplay. This is where you take everything away from the protagonist. This is where you screw your protagonist up, where it doesn't look like there's any possible way that there will be success. You've taken it all away. That is really tough. It's a tough section. And you have to really think about it and plan it out, how you want to take things away. Because without that defeat, we can't have that sweet victory at the end, that denouement at the end of your script, all right? So this is a little bit about index cards, idea of how to organize your thoughts, how to structure things out, and how to put them together. Again, hopefully we'll get to meet remotely and we can talk about some of these things face to face and ask questions and really trying to work it out so you can get this beautiful 50-page script complete. Okay, I'll see you at the next lesson.